So, the power rule. Much in the same way that we have rules for exactly what to do when we're multiplying numbers with the same base, we also have a rule when we have a scenario like this, where we have a power that's being raised to a power outside of parentheses. So it's really important that we have all three of those things, powers and parentheses. So we have two powers and parentheses. So our power rule, let's go ahead and take a look and see how this works. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and write this in expanded form. So I know that in expanded form, I'm going to start out by writing my base and multiplying my base that many times. Now, after I have my base, I've already used that exponent, but I still haven't used this exponent, which means I need to continue to bring that down. So I have 8 times 8 raised to the fourth power. Now that 8 times 8 raised to the fourth power, I also need to expand out. So I'm going to write that as 8 times 8 times 8 times 8. I'm going to put one over here on the other side just so I have enough room. 8 times 8. So I have 8 times 8 times 8 times 8 times 8 times 8, and so on. So then the next thing that I need to do is I need to go ahead and simplify. So when I simplify this, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this using as few numbers as I can, make it as simple as possible. And I can see here that I only have one base. All of the bases that I have are 8. And my associative property says that I can reorder this, or that I can regroup this, which means that I can get rid of all of those parentheses if I want. So instead of parentheses, I could say, all right, well, no more parentheses here. I know that those parentheses just mean I'm going to be doing multiplication. So when I rewrite this with just parentheses, I have 8 times 8 times 8 times 8, and so on and so forth. Now I can count up those 8s and say I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my simplified version of this is 8 to the 8th power. So let's go ahead and think about that. When I have a 2 and a 4, what do I do with 2 and 4 in order to get to 8? I'm, of course, going to multiply those. 2 times 4 is equal to 8. That's the only way I can get it. 2 plus 2 isn't 8. It's 2 times 4. So we've got 2 times 4 is equal to 8, which means that when I have powers raised to another power outside of parentheses, that means that I can use my power rule. My power rule says I'm going to multiply those together. So let's go ahead and take a look at how that works down here. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to expand what's in the grouping symbols here. So I have 15 times 15 times 15, and all of that is raised to the second power. And then I'm going to go ahead and write out my exponents here. I've got 15 times 15 times 15, 15 times 15 times 15. Now, if I go ahead and simplify that, I'm going to go ahead and write my base. And my base is, of course, 15. And then that 15 is written out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, so I have 15 to the 6th power. Now go ahead and take on these next two and then think about how we might be able to write a rule, a power rule.